Good morning to you guys.
So
How
the
are you?
French have done it again, Gal. Really enjoyed the game. The atmosphere was fantastic. Morocco played their part big style, but the French held out and then got the second goal, which proved to be that was it. It sunk the Moroccans. Brilliant feat to reach a final again.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about what happened during the game because if we're honest, I think against England, it was a really difficult game. The best team didn't win. I think yesterday against Morocco, I think they gave us a real good challenge, and I think they were probably the better team for a big part of the game. But like we all know, in those kind of games, only the win counts, and for that, Didier Deschamps is probably one of the best managers to make it happen.
Gal, I hope you're well, mate. I just want to ask you about, everybody's going to say it's Mbappe v Messi in the final. Do you see any other player going to step up and maybe take the plaudits, like someone like Giroud maybe, who you know very well, or Alvarez for Argentina, who's banging the goals in as well?
Well, obviously they're going to talk about those players because that's what we want, right? But for France, I would say that one big thing that changed, and that was during the first game when the left back, the number one left back, got injured and his brother took over. And for me, it's been the revelation of the competition because since then he provided 2 assists and he scored yesterday, and he actually brings something to the team that Deschamps didn't want maybe at the beginning. He was ready to start with 4 centre back and give the keys to Mbappe and Dembele. So having this guy on the side for me is really valuable because he gives freedom to Mbappe, and it's a 2 against 1 against the right back of the opposition rather than Mbappe against 1 or 2 players. And this is a big thing for me. So I'm not saying that he's going to be the man, during the final, but I have to say that for me, he's been really impressive. And that was for me the little bonus that France got when during the first game.
Do you think that France will have a plan for Messi? Do you think they will try and man mark him? Do you think they will have someone on him at all times, or do you think they'll look at their squad of players and think, we can do what Croatia did? We didn't work for Croatia, did it? But what do you think France will do in the final?
I think there's no plan against Messi. You can't plan anything because if he's on it and he's been on it since the beginning of the competition, you really can't stop him. The worry for me for France is that already having Mbappe, which is a tremendous player, they've kind of had to adapt the game for him. So you can see that he's more drifting inside, and at the beginning of the competition, Rabiot had to protect his back, and then you had to have Tchouaméni coming on the left side, which is a lot of attention. And when you play against lesser team, then these things can work. But we've seen against England, we could have got punished. We've seen yesterday, it could have been really difficult. So now we're talking about making sure that Mbappe is free to attack, but how do we counter Messi? So those 2 players making the effort for Mbappe in the space behind his back will not be there for Messi. So how do we deal with that? I don't know. Probably Deschamps will have a solution, but I don't see him changing the way he wants to play because the way he wants to play is to give freedom to Mbappe. So in a way, it's coming back to your question, Ray. It's like it's going to be a game between Mbappe and Messi. And who's going to be the most decisive, on so many occasions.
So Gal, I think he's been fantastic so far, Griezmann. Fantastic, not just in attack, but defensively as well, all over the pitch. If he can just get on the ball with a bit of space, don't forget Messi's in there as well, but if he can find himself with a bit of space in the ball and uses the pace of Dembele and Mbappe, maybe that's where France get in behind Argentina, in behind the centre-backs.
That's what they're going to try to do because that's what they've been trying to do during the beginning of the competition. I think Argentina is a different beast. They can run, they can cover ground. We've seen the second goal they scored, I think, if it's the second or the third during the semi-final. I mean, it's box to box, and these people are hungry. And one thing that I like, but at the same time I don't like, is that they're saying they're playing for their country, but they're also playing for Messi. So this is, for me, is a big thing because I never heard something like that. And you can be sure, being his last World Cup, it's going to be different. It's not going to be Morocco. It's not going to be any of those teams. They're going to be hungry. And also, they have so much quality with the ball. And it's going to be a big test. It's going to be a big test. For me, England was the test, for the French team. They passed in terms of results, but in terms of playing and a way of seeing football, I think they failed. and Argentina will be a different one because Messi is there and they will be ready for it. Yes.
Gaël, you mentioned Messi there. You played against him 7 times in your career, winning once, drawing once, and losing 5 times. I think Messi scored 10 in those 7 games. Is he? I don't want to mention this, Gaël, but is he the best player you've played against, probably in any sort of game?
Well, people like statistics. Some other don't like statistics. With him,
I wouldn't like that one.
With him, no, but with him, it's everything. If you talk about statistics, nobody can tell you, yeah, but it's only statistic because. I mean, you've seen the game semi-final. I remember that game we played that at the new camp with Arsenal when he scored 4 goals against us. That goal against Almunia over the head. I mean, he's doing things that you can't even think of doing in computer games. So he's definitely the best player. I've been lucky because I play with some great players. But what is impressive with him is that we say often big players, big games. This guy is just there for the last 15 years. Every game for him is a big game because he's always performing.
Gaël, I wanted to ask you about France, the future as well. You'll see a lot of the under 23 players and the players coming through the ranks. Do you think France are going to keep conquering the world? Because you look at Saliba, can't get a chance. You've got so many players. Defence, Kanate, Upamecano, Saliba, Kimpembe. Can we have one of these defenders, England? You know what I mean? I think that we need one of these quick, strong defenders who can play. But the future's looking so good for France, isn't it? As well as the present.
Yeah, and you don't even know. I mean, I don't know if you know, but the under 21 is full with talent, and it's scaring really when you see this. And in a way, it's the real world of this culture that we have. If you take for instance, you take Spain, more or less you will have the same kind of players, little players that love to touch the ball, but they will not really hurt you in the space. If you take Germany, they are strong, they very robotic in a way. Italian the same. We are different. We have African players, we have French players, we have Italian players, we have Spanish players,
everything,
and all of that. It's just crazy. And honestly, if you look at the under 18 and 20 and the 21 and the 23, it's very scaring. Now the question is for me the main man with the French national team is Deschamps, because he's not scared to put players that should deserve or should be in the squad because of the talent and the way they're performing at club levels, but he's not scared to take them out because he wants a strong start 11 and he wants the rest not to make any waves, so the group live well together. So you take this guy out, even with the best player that you can find all over the country, if you don't have the right mixture for those kind of competition for 4, 5, 6 weeks, you can just crash out. So I think it's very important, but the talent is there, and if you guys can take a few players, you'll be happy because some really talented players are coming. Yeah.
Gaël, I've got to ask you while you're on Arsenal. Boxing Day, the old Premier League starts again, and 5 points clear. They've got a good young squad at the moment. You played in some good teams at Arsenal as well. Do you think they can do it, or do you think Man City is still going to be too strong?
Well, I think City are really strong. I think they're really strong. The bench they have, the quality all over the squad is impressive. But I have to say, I think it's been, if we're all honest, I think it's been a very long time since we have felt that vibes coming from the Arsenal dressing room, the stadium. What I like is that they're all young. It's young players, so they're really hungry for success. And like I've said from the beginning, I remember, Arteta was getting a little bit of sticks. I've had the chance to work with him for 1 year, at City, my last season, and he's a phenomenal trainer. He's like, I think what he has on top of the other that we all know is that proximity, and that closeness with the players, because he was a player not long ago, and so he has ideas. He has that desire to have and to communicate with the players, which in today's football, this is more than important. And he has amazing players, at disposal. So I still think that City are really strong overall, because they've been there for so long now. It's been 10 years that they've been consistent. So you can't just, put them out. But I think Arsenal have got a great chance. The next few weeks are going to be really important. And if there's a team that can really challenge City this year, is them, because they're doing everything impeccable since the beginning of the season. And I really hope they can go all the way, because it's a club that deserve, and it's a manager that deserve, to bring success to this team. So I would say City are still the favorites, because on the long term, it's going to be difficult. But I'm pretty sure if they can manage those next 4 to 6 weeks and getting the points, I can see them something, definitely.
So, Gal, before you go, if I can take you back in time to the year 2008, Villa beat Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates.
No,
Gabby only scored 1 goal that season, but he remembers that, and he says you scored an own goal. Can you remember that?
Ignore him.
You really went far away back. And you know what? My memory is not that good, so I can't remember that game.
That was my career highlight, Gaël. So I'll take it.
Take it, man. Take it.
Gaël, give me a prediction for Sunday. What's the score in the final of the World Cup?
Well, I'm split in two, because I think, like everybody, as a football fan, I would love to see Messi win the World Cup, knowing it's his last. But unfortunately, I'm French, and I need them, and I want them to go all the way. So I would say that Messi will have an amazing game, and I will go for a 2-1 for France.
2-1 France. Gaël, great to talk.
Cheers,
Thank
Gaël.
you. Take care. Thank you.